Up next, we are going to be discussing AI for new business models with our moderator, Alex Panican, who is Deputy CEO at Loft, and then Philippe Sanchis, who is CEO at Vialink, and Georg Hammerer, Chief Operating Officer, BMW Group Financial Services, France. Give them a round of applause to welcome them to the stage.
Hello, everybody. So when we prepared this panel, do you remember the title was Biometrics Idea with AI? And those two guys, they start talking about the future of the automotive industry. So with Emma, we look at each other over the screen and say, okay, let's change the panel discussion and let's make them talk about the future of automotive industry. So we changed that for AI for new business models, so people understand where we are coming from. So first, Georg, guys, it's good to see you in Paris. Georg, what is BMW Finance? It's a bank, it's not a bank. Tell us everything, and what are your main challenges?
Yeah, great pleasure, Alex. So we are BMW Finance, so we are the financing arm of BMW Group. We are financing about 50% of the sales of BMW, new cars, used cars. That's about 2 million cars per year that we finance worldwide, about 70,000 here in France. Well, what are the main challenges? So what do you do when you finance? You do a credit check. In the current economic climate, which is getting more and more difficult, there's more and more focus on checking credit. We are reducing fraud. We want to make sure we're financing the right customers. And we see, especially over the last 2 years, we see an increase in fraud attempts. So checking and controlling frauds becomes more and more important for us. We're looking at all the regulations, so AML checks, KYC checks, because the regulation, the bank regulation, becomes more and more strict as well. So we are adding charge, we are adding time, we are adding effort. But on the other hand, you have customers that become more and more impatient. They're used to quick processes, instant processes, real-time processes, and they don't have the time. And we see we are hitting a wall with adding more and more resources that just doesn't do it anymore. That's not enough. So we need to look at things a different way. We need to do things in a different way. And here we feel that technology is the solution. And this is why we teamed up with Philippe and his team from Vialink 2 years ago, starting in 2020, to look at new ways to do our new business process.
Before jumping to Philippe, if I might ask, why I should use BMW Finance and not using my own bank to get a credit for my car? What's the use case?
Well, we are closely integrated with BMW, so you can have a car and the financing and services around that you will not get from a bank. A bank will finance the car,
yes,
but we are offering services around the vehicle, from insurance, maintenance, a charging card if you have an electric vehicle. So you're getting a full package, you're getting a full service lease that you will not get from a...
So what would be the example of a fraud? What do you call fraud exactly in your industry?
Fraud for us, so the main reason for fraud is identity fraud. So this is why especially the identification of customers is key for us.
So you have a lot of regulatory challenges, like every bank, and there is a few ones in the room today, I know of. But you also find the solution 2 years ago, and the solution is Philippe. It's you.
No, it's me.
Thank you for
my software.
Thank you for being here and solving the problem. So what is Vialink and what you guys are doing?
So we're a tech company, so we develop software, mostly with AI, quite combination of different AI techniques to try to ease and automate complex onboarding processes. We've all been through these kind of processes individually. I don't know, opening a bank account, to request a credit, to rent an apartment. Sometime you always have to justify a lot of things: identity, revenues, domiciliation, etc., etc. And we automate these difficult steps, I would say, in an onboarding process. So we verify identity, we check the supporting files or the information from a customer, revenues, domiciliation, etc., etc. And we go up to the engagement, so the signature, the electronic signature of a contract. So basically, in a few seconds, you can have the whole onboarding process to ensure or to reconcile somehow the sales challenges for our customers, so which are obviously key, and also the compliance challenges, which are sometimes very difficult to align. The compliance challenges, doing things right, to fight against fraud, etc., and also having quick and easy processes to ensure to maximize sales. So what we do.
But how does it work? Because for me, it's quite, I mean, it's a dark room, you know. How do you do it, and how do you do it especially for Georg? Because I guess it's not you, Philippe, taking all the papers hand by hand and one by one.
No. We have our software, our solution basically takes, I mean, for the identity verification, we have 3 steps, basically. The first one is identity verification. So we do concretely IDs, passport checks. We do biometry, face matching, liveness, to check that the customer or the person is actually who she's claiming to be. So that's the.
So when they apply for the credit at Georg place at BMW, in fact, you are the front office providing, and they provide to you all the documentation.
So that's yes. Yep. So that's the first step, the identification. The second one is to work in an automated way, so in less than 10 seconds, to analyze completely all the customer supporting files. Because in that kind of processes, you have to give, I don't know, pay slips, tax assessments, IDs, obviously we talked about, but also proof of domiciliation, etc., etc. So these are documents that has to be processed usually manually, and we process these documents in less than 10 seconds automatically. That's what we do.
How many documents do you process?
Sorry?
How many documents do you process per year? To give us a...
last year it was 35 millions.
Okay.
Approximately. So it's
very
industrial, very industrial and quite large.
Okay. Thank you so much. So that's the introduction to what they do. Now let's talk about the new business model in the automotive industry. Let's talk about what you guys are preparing. How do you guys preparing? How do you see the evolution of the automotive industry at the BMW Group, but also you as a bank?
Yeah, and you know, we just celebrated the 100th anniversary of BMW, so we are really an old company in comparison to many companies.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks. So we have been very stable for 100 years, but at the moment you have some developments that are really a fundamental paradigm shift for the entire automotive industry. So you have obviously electrification, so until 2035 we will not sell any cars with a combustion engine anymore. That's a big change. And also for us in financial services, it's not just like a change of the asset we are financing, but it's changing our business model. We are not just financing a car, but we finance a car, we finance a charging station, we are providing a charging card to customers, we are providing for customers a second vehicle. If you have a range anxiety with your electric vehicle, we can offer you a thermic vehicle to go for vacation in the summer holidays if you really want to go far. So we are all kinds of new services that have never existed before that we are now providing to customers. So that's one big change, electrification. A second big change is, as many other manufacturers, we are switching to a direct sales model. So agent-based direct business, but especially also online direct business. And all the topics that Philippe has mentioned, so how to identify customers, how to check documents. So in the past, that was always relying on a physical touch point we have at the dealership. Now we don't have the physical touch point anymore. So we need to find new ways to be as compliant as we have always been, but in a completely new way. And then the third big change is regulation. It has become stricter. This will increase. And you have in the automotive industry, you still have a bit the differentiation between banks, like BMW Financial Services, which are in the bank regulation, which is very strict. And then you have leasing companies that are a little bit outside of this regulation. And they have a life that's a bit easier because they're not as regulated. But I firmly believe this will change. And I firmly believe that the bank regulation will also extend to leasing companies. So everybody needs to find new ways to cope also with the increasing regulation of our industry.
Yes, which I hope is more profitable than the bank industry, because it's the less profitable in the world, in Europe, due to regulation. Hopefully Philippe is here to help. But, I mean, a few minutes ago we talked with Ethan about the metaverse. You guys gonna sell cars in the metaverse? My avatar can drive a BMW,
Yeah,
a digital BMW?
that's the next step after the next. So now we are discussing about new ways on how to finance a traditional physical asset that has been there for 100 years. But then what's the next step after that? Now, will we sell a BMW NFT? I mean, I think we can discuss a long time about this, and there's can be a lot of creativity involved. But one point where certainly an NFT can help us is to secure the asset, because at the moment a car is going through multiple stages in a life cycle. So it's a new car, it's coming back, it's sold to a used car customer probably multiple times. So how do you make sure that you always have the same asset, that you always have the same car? How do you have the security yourself? And how do you give the security also to your customers? So there's a huge opportunity there going forward also to use NFTs in order to securize the asset that you're financing.
Awesome. Ethan, we still have time because I don't see the timer, huh? Ah, it's over there. Oh, we still have 4 minutes. Oh, we are large, very large. Good. But then I can buy the BMW. I'm an Audi guy, so let's say one day I will get older. Maybe I want a BMW. I'm kidding. I can buy it online, directly online.
You can buy it online, 24/7, on your sofa.
Personalize
Sunday,
it and
personalize it, finance it, personalize your.
But that also means
everything.
your volume of credit asking is increasing massively, right? You're gonna see more people wanting to buy. At one point, you told me that you reach a threshold where you cannot add more people to do it. That's why you need to engage with AI. What about you, Philippe? How do you see the evolution of this industry?
I think that the evolution of the automotive industry is I mean, Georg spoke about it brilliantly, so I'm not going to go on that field, but in general, for most of the industries, the relationship with the customer has changed or is evolving. A lot more remote interactions, etc., etc. And we saw in the last with the COVID pandemic, we saw in the last year or year and a half a high increase of the fraud, of the risks linked to the fraud. So basically, for us, it's to be able to reconcile both, I would say, user experience, so the customer journey, an easy one, quick, remote experience, or remote and on-site experience, because it's might be a hybrid experience also. So customer experience. The second one for us is to minimize risks, so for our customers, so minimize fraud risks, but also in regulated industries like like for BMW finance, it's the sanction risk also, because the regulator can sanctions, and it's expensive. So minimize risk is the second benefit, and the third one is clearly the I would say the operational excellence or efficiency. Both. We try to give time, both sales time and also back office time to our customers, because we automate things that were done manually. So the three benefits: better customer experience, less risk, and efficiency in general, time, are the three ones we try to sell, actually.
And I think that's going to be the beauty, because...
Ethan?
Yes, that's it, yes. His mic is open, guys.
Ça sera en français, celui-là.
Anyway,
Très bien.
that's weird.
Data.
Anyway, no, that's the beauty, because let's face it, I say Audi, but I'm driving a Volvo. But it's nothing, no experience can replace working in a dealership, smelling the new cars, sitting down in a new car and trying it. But what you want is, after that, I don't have to, the guy selling me the car doesn't have to do the QIC on me, doesn't have to spend too much time. He can just spend time with his clients and talking about the car and not taking care of the administrative stuff. So that's the idea
And at the end, the customer journey, in many cases, it will be a hybrid journey where the customer has the possibility to switch between channels. But that needs to be fluid for the customer. I mean, there's nothing more awkward than when you need to re-enter all your data a second time, a third time, just because you're in a new channel. And we still will have a physical touch point because you still have a car that needs to be delivered. We have an online channel, we have a call center you can call, and we need to make sure that the journey is fluid, is convenient for the customer in whatever channel he chooses at whatever point in time in his journey.
Thanks to AI and thanks to Philippe. Guys, it's been extremely interesting. I hope it was interesting for the public. Round of applause, please, for our speakers.
Definitely a huge round of applause for our wonderful panel.